Welcome back to BNB Spoilers channel. Today, we're diving into the explosive power struggles, shifting alliances, and hidden agendas that are rocking the bold and the beautiful. Steffy and Taylor's growing distrust of Brooke. Steffy Forrester and Taylor Hayes have never been ones to turn a blind eye when it comes to Brooke Logan's antics. This time, their suspicions are at an all-time high. While Brooke might present herself as the voice of reason, trying to restore stability to Forrester Creations, Steffy and Taylor aren't buying it. They know her too well. In their eyes, this isn't about doing what's best for the company, it's about positioning herself for a romantic reunion with Ridge Forrester. As mother and daughter sit down for a heart-to-heart, Steffy makes no effort to hide her frustration. She has fought tooth and nail to keep Forrester Creations under the control of the Forrester family, and now Brooke is swooping in, pretending to be the peacemaker. Steffy can see through it, and so can Taylor. They both know Brooke never does anything without an ulterior motive. Taylor, always the hopeful optimist when it comes to Ridge, tries to assure Steffy that she has nothing to worry about. She insists that Ridge is committed to their future together, that he has turned a new leaf, and that Brooke is no longer a threat. Taylor firmly believes that Ridge has outgrown his cycle of running back to Brooke at every opportunity. But Steffy? She's not so sure. Steffy, Brooke is like a storm on the horizon, seemingly calm at first, but always ready to unleash chaos when the moment is right. She warns her mother to stay vigilant, to not let her guard down, and to be prepared for Brooke's inevitable attempt to worm her way back into Ridge's life. Steffy's concerns aren't entirely unfounded. Brooke has a long history of getting what she wants, and she doesn't care whose lives she has to disrupt to make it happen. Steffy believes that if Brooke is actively trying to manipulate Carter Walton, it's only the beginning of a much larger scheme, and so, as their conversation unfolds, it becomes clear, Steffy is on high alert, determined to protect her family and her legacy. Taylor, despite her reassurances, is left with a nagging doubt, a small but growing seed of worry that maybe, just maybe, Steffy is right. The Carter Walton conundrum, torn between loyalty and power. Meanwhile, at Forrester Creations, another storm is brewing, one that could have major repercussions for everyone involved. Carter Walton is a man at a crossroads. His world has been thrown into chaos, and his loyalty is being tested like never before. He just had a heartbreaking conversation with Hope Logan, admitting that he feels like a traitor in all of this. The weight of his decisions is crushing him, and to make matters worse, Hope walked away from him in tears. Now, standing in his office, lost in thought, Carter barely has time to collect himself before Ridge Forrester bursts in. Ridge, never one to tread lightly, immediately senses the tension in the air. He doesn't hesitate to make a snide remark, "Heavy is the head that wears the crown." The words hit Carter like a slap in the face. He's already drowning in self-doubt, and Ridge's condescending tone only makes it worse. But beneath the frustration, there's something else, a flicker of defiance. Ridge is here to assert his dominance, to remind Carter where his true loyalties should lie. But Carter? He's not so sure he wants to be Ridge's pawn anymore. The conversation quickly turns heated as Ridge questions Carter's recent decisions. Ridge doesn't hold back, accusing him of letting emotions cloud his judgment. He suggests that Carter is being reckless, that he's betraying the very people who gave him power in the first place. But Carter, for the first time in a long time, refuses to be intimidated. He pushes back, questioning Ridge's own actions. He reminds Ridge that he isn't exactly a beacon of loyalty himself, especially when it comes to his love life. And then, the conversation takes an even sharper turn when Ridge begins badmouthing Hope Logan. If there's one thing that can push Carter over the edge, it's an attack on Hope. The more Ridge criticizes her, the more Carter feels the need to defend her. His frustration boils over, and he finally makes a decision: he's not going to be a puppet anymore. If Ridge thinks he can just waltz in and dictate Carter's every move, he's sorely mistaken. For the first time, Carter digs his heels in and stands his ground. He refuses to bow to Ridge's demands, setting the stage for an even bigger battle ahead. Steffi's fears: is Ridge walking straight into Brooke's trap? Back at the Cliff House, Steffi can't shake her unease. The conversation with Taylor lingers in her mind, and the more she thinks about it, the more convinced she becomes that trouble is on the horizon. She knows her father. She knows his weaknesses. And above all, she knows that when it comes to Brooke, he has never been able to fully resist her pull. Despite everything Ridge has said about being committed to Taylor, Steffi can't help but fear the worst. She's seen it happen too many times before. First, there's a small crack in his resolve. Then, Brooke starts playing the victim, pulling at his heartstrings, making him believe that she's the one who truly understands him. Before long, Ridge is caught in her web all over again, and the timing of all of this? It's just too perfect. Brooke suddenly wanting to get involved in Forrester creations, trying to influence Carter, making herself look like the hero? It's classic Brooke. Steffi is certain that it's all part of a larger scheme to lure Ridge back in. Determined to protect her family, Steffi makes a decision: she won't sit idly by and let history repeat itself. If Brooke is planning something, Steffi will be ready. She vows to do whatever it takes to ensure that Taylor doesn't end up heartbroken again. What she doesn't realize, however, is that her father is already being pulled in Brooke's direction, whether he realizes it or not. What's next? The battle lines are drawn. With tensions at an all-time high, the stage is set for some major confrontations. Will Carter's defiance cost him everything, or will he finally break free from Ridge's control? Can Steffi protect Taylor from another heartbreak, or is Ridge already slipping back into Brooke's grasp? And what exactly is Brooke planning behind the scenes? The drama is only just beginning, and The Bold and the Beautiful is about to deliver some shocking twists that will change everything. Stay tuned as the power struggles intensify, the alliances shift, and the true motives come to light. Next, we're diving into the latest twists and turns in the world of The Bold and the Beautiful. With shocking revelations, corporate power struggles, and simmering romantic tensions, Valentine's Day is proving to be anything but sweet for the Forrester family. Let's break it all down. Steffi's thoughtful pause, a sign of trouble? At the lavish Forrester mansion, the atmosphere is brimming with excitement and tension as the jewelry line launch is about to unfold. Steffi Forrester, poised and elegant as ever, stands among family and close friends, watching the event unfold with anticipation. Beside her is Daphne, who has seamlessly become part of the Forrester circle, offering words of support as the business gears up for a major success. As the screen flickers to life, showcasing the dazzling collection, Steffi's phone vibrates in her hand. A small smile graces her lips as she sees the name of her husband, Dr. John Finnegan, lighting up her screen. His text reads, "Happy Valentine's Day. I love you." Accompanied by a simple heart emoji, it should bring nothing but warmth to Steffi's heart. Yet, as she types out her response, "Happy Valentine's Day," a flicker of doubt crosses her mind. She hesitates for a second, a thoughtful look in her eyes. To an outsider, it's nothing more than a brief pause, but deep down, Steffi senses something is off. Is it just the stress of the business takeover weighing on her, or is there something deeper gnawing at the edges of her consciousness? Finn's hidden secret, a truth too heavy to bear? Across town, in the quiet of his office, Finn exhales deeply, his fingers lingering over his phone screen. He had kept the text short and sweet, but in reality, there's a storm brewing inside him, one he isn't sure how to navigate. His message to Steffi was simple, yet it barely scratched the surface of what he really wanted to say. He wants to tell her everything, the truth that's been weighing on him for weeks, if not months. His mind replays the bombshell revelation over and over. Luna is my daughter. The words swirl in his head, carrying the weight of unspoken guilt. How does he even begin to tell Steffi? How does he break the perfect bubble of their marriage with a truth that could change everything? The timing couldn't be worse. Today is supposed to be about love and celebration, but all Finn feels is turmoil. Shaking his head, he mutters under his breath, "How do I tell you, Steffi?" But for now, he keeps his secret locked away, knowing that when the truth finally emerges, nothing will ever be the same. Eric's bittersweet victory and Ridge's acknowledgement. Back at the Forrester mansion, Ridge Forrester and Taylor Hayes are lost in each other, savoring a moment of intimacy on Valentine's Day. They've fought hard to rebuild what was once lost, and now, in the glow of candlelight and the warmth of each other's embrace, it seems they've truly found their way back. Just as their lips meet, a voice interrupts the moment. Eric Forrester, the patriarch of the family, steps into the room, his sharp eyes filled with a mixture of pride and bitterness. "Enough of that, you two," Eric teases, though there's a tinge of sadness in his voice. "Why don't we sit and watch the jewelry line drop? It's bound to be a success." Ridge nods, but his expression turns serious. "The success will be yours, Dad." Eric scoffs, folding his arms across his chest. "Funny. Because it sure doesn't feel like it. The world might see this as a Forrester victory, but we both know the truth. We were ousted. Pushed aside. And no matter how well this launch goes, we won't get the credit we deserve." There's a heavy silence. The sting of betrayal still lingers in the air, even on a night that should be about celebration. Ridge understands his father's frustration, but he also knows that battles like these are never truly over. The question is, how long before the Forresters reclaim what's rightfully theirs? Brooke and Carter's Valentine's Day reflection. Elsewhere, in the main office of Forrester Creations, Brooke Logan finds herself sharing a rare, intimate conversation with Carter Walton. The two of them, despite their strong personas, seem unusually subdued. Brooke watches Carter carefully, her keen intuition sensing the inner turmoil he's trying so hard to mask. "I can see this is weighing on you," she says gently, her voice laced with understanding. Carter lets out a bitter chuckle. "Weighing on me? Brooke, they fired Hope. They sidelined all of us. Ridge completely disregarded my ideas. How am I supposed to just accept that?" Brooke shakes her head. "That's not true. Ridge always valued you. He valued your ideas, your friendship." Carter swallows hard, his eyes flickering with emotion. "I valued his." The words are quiet, yet heavy with unspoken pain. A deep sigh escapes Brooke as she gazes out the window. And now here we are. Valentine's Day. Without the people we love. The irony isn't lost on either of them. A day meant to celebrate love and connection has instead become a reminder of everything they've lost. Hope and Steffi's tense face-off. Meanwhile, in Forrester's design office, a different kind of tension is brewing between Hope Logan and Steffi Forrester. The two women, forever entangled in a complicated rivalry, find themselves once again on opposing sides. Hope's frustration is evident as she faces Steffi, her arms crossed in defiance. "Why do you keep implying that my mother isn't capable of running this company?" she demands. Steffi, ever the strategist, remains calm. "That's not what I'm saying," she replies smoothly. "But let's be honest, Hope. Your mother has paid a high price for your actions. My father and grandfather were basically banished from their own company." Hope's jaw tightens. "And you think that's my fault?" "I think you need to accept that this is the new reality," Steffi counters, her gaze unwavering. "This is the future of Forrester Creations. You'll see that at today's jewelry line launch." Hope squares her shoulders, determination flashing in her eyes. Then I guess I'll be celebrating in the arms of the man I love. The tension crackles between them, neither willing to back down. Their long-standing feud, rooted in years of history, is far from over. What's next for the Forresters? With hidden secrets, power struggles, and romantic entanglements at every turn, The Bold and the Beautiful is setting the stage for some explosive revelations. Will Finn finally confess his secret to Steffi, or will his silence come back to haunt him? Can Brooke and Carter find solace in their shared heartbreak, or will they fight to reclaim their places at Forrester? And as the jewelry line launch takes center stage, who will truly emerge victorious in this corporate battle? Next, we're breaking down the power struggles, family betrayals, and shocking revelations shaking up The Bold and the Beautiful. As a new era dawns at Forrester Creations, tensions are at an all-time high, secrets are on the verge of exposure, and relationships are being put to the test. Buckle up, because this is one episode you won't want to miss. Finn's inner turmoil, a secret he can't hide forever in the solitude of his office. Dr. John Finn Finnegan sits with a faraway look in his eyes, his fingers gripping the edge of his desk. Before him, a framed photograph of him and Luna stares back, a bittersweet reminder of a truth he never expected to face. His mind races, flashing back to the moment he freed Steffi from the cage, to the terrifying realization that history had nearly repeated itself. Sheila had tried to kill Steffi. And now, Luna, his own daughter, was being pulled into a web of danger and deception. Finn mutters to himself, his voice heavy with emotion, "First Sheila tried to kill you, and now Luna. My daughter. You need to know, Steffi. You need to know." But how does he tell her? How does he reveal that Luna is connected to him in a way that will change everything? As the weight of his secret presses down on him, Finn knows one thing for certain: the longer he waits, the worse the fallout will be. Hope and Carter's private moment, a victory or a warning? Back at Forrester Creations, the air is electric with triumph. The launch has been an undeniable success, and champagne glasses clink in celebration. But amidst the revelry, an undercurrent of tension lingers. Hope Logan, glowing with pride, calls for a toast. The future has never looked brighter, she declares, raising her glass. This is only the beginning. The room erupts in applause, but not everyone is feeling quite as celebratory. Brooke Logan, standing across from Carter Walton, levels a piercing gaze at him. Her expression is unreadable, but her message is clear. "I'm watching you." Charlie Weber bursts in, his usual jovial energy momentarily cutting through the awkwardness. In his hands, he carries an extravagant bouquet, a gift from the international office. He stops mid-step, sensing the strange vibe in the room. "Did I miss something?" he asks, his eyes darting from face to face. Electra, checking her phone, suddenly lights up. A message from Ridge Forrester flashes across the screen: "You make the family proud." But not everyone in the family feels that way. As the tension builds, Hope leans toward Carter and whispers urgently, "Can we have a moment alone?" Charlie, always quick on his feet, ushers the crowd out of the office, and closes the door behind them. Now, with only the two of them remaining, Hope's bright, victorious expression fades into something more urgent. She turns to Carter, searching his face. "What is going on?" "We did it. It's happening." Carter exhales, his voice tinged with something between excitement and unease. "Yes. It's a Forrester without Eric, Steffi, and Ridge." For the first time, the weight of what they've done settles between them. The question is, was this truly a victory, or the start of something far more dangerous? A celebration with shadows of betrayal. Just before Hope and Carter's private exchange, the office had been filled with celebratory energy. Hope had stood at the center, her confidence radiating as she spoke about the new era of Forrester creations. Zend Forrester Dominguez, ever loyal to his family, had interjected. Eric and Ridge signed off on the jewelry line too. Hope had smiled, but her words were sharp. Carter had the vision. And this is just the beginning. Across the room, Brooke had barely hidden her disapproval. The flicker of doubt in her eyes had been impossible to miss. Meanwhile, Katie Logan had done her best to keep things professional, quickly stepping in to provide updates. The numbers are looking good, she'd announced, her voice crisp. We need to make sure production keeps up with demand. Let's get to work. Will, standing next to Elektra, had grinned. You're about to be an overnight success, he'd told her. For a moment, everything had seemed perfect. The business was thriving, and Hope had been on top of the world. But beneath the surface, the cracks were already beginning to show. Eric, Ridge, and Steffi watched from afar. At the Forrester mansion, Eric Forrester, Ridge Forrester, and Steffi Forrester had watched the success of the launch unfold from a distance. The numbers didn't lie, the jewelry line was a hit. And yet, there was no joy in their expressions. Taylor Hayes, ever the peacemaker, had tried to focus on the positive. It's a big success, she'd remarked. Steffi, arms crossed, had been less charitable. We put the pieces in place, and now Hope and Carter get to reap the rewards. Ridge had let out a humorless grunt. Brooke too, he'd muttered. His voice had carried the unmistakable weight of betrayal. She betrayed us. Eric, normally the composed patriarch, had looked away, frustration evident. Watching the company they built now being celebrated without them had been a bitter pill to swallow. Carter's gift and a painful reminder. Earlier that day, in Forrester's main office, Carter Walton had received a special delivery. Elektra, with a knowing smile, had handed him the custom jewelry piece he had requested. Happy Valentine's Day, she'd said warmly. Carter had opened the box, his eyes lighting up. The piece was stunning, perfect, just as he had envisioned. It's exquisite, he had murmured, turning it over in his hands. Hope is going to love it. But as he'd reached to place the box in his desk drawer, something unexpected had caught his eye. Eric's old stapler. For a brief moment, time had stood still. Carter had stared at it, the weight of everything that had happened crashing down on him. Eric's absence was palpable, a stark reminder of the choices that had led to this moment. And no matter how much success he achieved, there would always be ghosts in these halls, whispers of those who had once stood where he now stood. What comes next? With secrets, power shifts, and betrayal simmering beneath the surface, the future of Forrester Creations is anything but certain. Will Finn finally come clean to Steffi about Luna, or will his silence create an even bigger disaster? Can Carter and Hope truly build a future without the Forresters retaliating? And is Brooke playing her own game behind the scenes, or is she as conflicted as she seems?